In a recent report, it's been said that a third of Americans refuse to buy eggs right now because of inflation. Today, I have a guest who can give you some information and tools to combat that. He's an extreme couponer, and he's just going to help you save when it's time for you to pay. Inflation Killer, thanks for being here with me on After the Break.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Extreme couponing. Man, tell us what it is, man, and how it can benefit the community.
Extreme couponing, man, is basically a way to use manufacturers, money and store money, the retail store, using their money to still accomplish your goal and spending and utilizing less of your money. So you can stretch your money longer in these crazy, times, right? So I think that's probably every family should take a stab at this, take a look at this, invest a little time into it, and get a hold of these coupons. And there's other ways outside of couponing to even get some of your investment money, because it's an investment to buy this food and things like that, right? If you don't buy food, you don't do anything, you get sick. So that's an investment itself, right? So I'd say that's the number one thing right now people should be looking at.
Now, are there any limitations on the quality of goods you can buy through couponing?
Depends on, what they allow, for the coupon, right? It'll limit 3, limit 4, limit 5, just depends, right? Certain manufacturers coupons like Procter and Gamble or, PepsiCo. There's different companies out there that would allow, up to a certain amount per coupon, but there are some limitations. But there's ways around that, even when it comes to from an extreme, side of it. So yeah, there are some limits out there, but there's ways around that.
Yeah, because traditionally I've always saw women in grocery stores, predominantly women in grocery stores, using coupons, newspaper clippings. Some have coupon books. When I played sports, we used to sell coupon books during fundraisers. But now we in modern times and everything is digital now. You have to have digital coupons in order to take advantage of those deals. A lot of people are scared. They worry about, data breaches, people, things getting their phone bugs, stuff. What are some of the reputable apps that are out there that can help people take advantage of couponing?
Well, I would say this first, right? Dealing with the, data breaches, people worried about, data being, hijacked, things like that. If people have, regular social media apps, which takes a lot of that stuff, and some of the big players out there, a coupon app can't do any, worse, right? Because what they're doing is they're giving you some form of, revenue back, right? There's a couple ways to look at this, right? Your grocery stores and some of the big ones out there, Kroger or the Kroger family. There's Dollar General, Family Dollar, CVS, places like that, right? Those stores basically pay you to shop, right? So that
And these
app,
are and those are stores that people complain that are kind of taking over their communities.
yeah. So those stores would give you a digital coupon. See, back in the day, it was all paper, right? So you had coupon books, right? You had to go to get the Sunday paper, you cut them out, things like that. A lot of that stuff, I would say 85% of that stuff has went digital, right? So now, yeah, all you had to do is just download the app, right? And then you clip the item that you want to buy to get to get the deal on. That's it. That's one way. Then if you combine it with these third party apps like Ibotta, Fetch, Checkout 51, a new one, Coupons 24, there's Shopkicks, there's Swag Bucks, there's even apps out there that you can buy digital gift cards that gives you cash back when you make your purchases, right? Rakuten is one, Flues is another one, things like that, So a combination of these apps alongside with the your major retailer stores, right? I'm finding that anywhere between 40% to 75 to 80%, you can get some of that money back in your pocket, right? Once everything's set, once the dust settles, you get savings
Oh,
over
wow.
here in this section, you get cash back over here, these apps over here, and you can combine a lot of those apps by just keeping your receipts. So there's a saying out there, people say I think it's the proper. So I don't know how it goes, but hey, bring your receipts. Bring your
Yeah.
receipts. Well,
Yeah.
these apps that I'm naming are the only receipts that they cash out. These actually cash out. No humans cashing out receipts, but these apps, they're cashing out receipts. So go to the apps and get some of that money back in your pocket, and it's going to help you, down the road.
You see, get back 40+% of your money, man. 40%, man.
I,
Come on, man. Like I mean, I know you save money, but I didn't know it was that much. That's why I'm
yeah,
tripping. I'm over here like, did he say 40%? I heard you say
I'm
60 in points.
I'm
You said
afraid. I'm
60.
afraid it's yeah 60. And if I mean, I'm gonna say this one store, man. I'm gonna say this one store, and this store is like right now on the hot seat, right? And this is Target, right? Um, I mean, I know people, have their feelings about Target, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man.
Mm,
Um, Target is the only store that actually pay you to shop.
really?
When you combine what they're giving you back with apps like Ibotta, Fetch, Checkout 51, Shopkicks, when you combine all of that together in one lump, we average about 90% cash back. Give you an example, I spent $98 last Friday.
Mm,
Once the dust settled, I got roughly $83 back between all those apps. Between Ibotta, what Target gave me back, they gave me back $35 on that. I got another 40 from Ibotta, 45 from Ibotta, 35 from Target, and then another 5 from Flues. I use a digital gift card to pay for it. You can say
and
people can say what they want, man, but I can't argue with that. Not in this inflation economy. No,
it's a one receipt.
that's one receipt.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, man, now I'm starting to hate. I didn't shop at Target 3 times a year because I lost my Target credit card. So they let you know how much I can shop there. I wouldn't even go 3 times a year. But I personally don't have anything against any retailer because it's
Me
my
neither.
choice on whether or not to go in there. That's how I look at it, man. That's some very valuable information. So, what's some of the things you're doing in your community to share this information?
Been to several community centers, right? Spreading that information. There's one in particular, the Salvation Army. So I noticed they have a food bank, right? They got a lot of food. They trying to help out the community, things like that. And I talked to one of the members there, right? And I actually taught two of the ladies. So I say, if I can get you two ladies up to speed on how this couponing thing works, you can spread that information over to some of the recipients of the food, right? And it can help them out, stretch their money a little bit longer. Like for example, there's a myth out there where the folks that's on SNAP benefits, right? There's been some rumbling about, hey, well, we can't use coupons and this SNAP card at the same time. Well, yes, you can. You can do
Mm.
both, right? It's all about stretching your money longer, right? There's families out there that's they're month to month in some cases, sometimes paycheck to paycheck, right? And you'd be surprised what $50 to $100 extra coming back into your household, what that would do. So different communities, we will pass out, as an extreme couponer, I can't, what am I gonna do with all this stuff, right? So I usually just you donate some of this stuff, right? Donate it, but teaching, community centers, how this stuff works so they can kind of pass along, to some of their friends and families in that area.
That's much needed information, I will say, because
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. I'm glad we're recording because I have to write it down. Man, definitely, man. I'm telling you, man, you got to write that down. I mean, let's be real. That's a lot of information, and this is stuff that we ain't. I never heard of. Never heard of none of those things. One thing I know for certain, okay, in regards to technology, man, we are far behind in regards to technology. You know, I've seen apps that are out there that's been out for years, and I'm just learning about them. Whether it be social media apps or investment apps or coupon apps. They've been out 5, 10, 20, 15 years. Man. So I highly advise everyone out there watching and listening to take advantage of the information that he shared and do your due diligence and save yourself a few coins. Inflation. Before we get out of here, I want to have a little fun. Just a little bit, but it's informal fun. So I got a short quiz, only 2 questions. So first question, what year did coupons come about in America?
That's I would say the late 1800s, 1886, 1887, somewhere in that time frame. That's about when it came out in the form of a sheet or a book type deal.
Right on. Right answer. Question number 2, what city did coupons start in?
So that's Coca-Cola. That would be out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, GA. That's what's up. So there it is, world. Some news you can use. And I'm pretty sure all y'all out there in ATL will be a little more prideful, just a sprinkle of more pride because, coupon is starting in Atlanta. I mean, hey. Anything else you'd like to share before we get out of here with the people? Some information you think that may be needed? Because when I look at the news globally, the dollar isn't stretching that far. Mm-hmm. And we're in different times right now. And a lot of people are looking at these times in gloom. Not just food that's being affected. Right now, people are losing their jobs. Industries are downsizing. Some industries are completely going away. But what are some areas that you can also encourage the people to look into saving and couponing in? And just simply, man, just a word of encouragement to the people out there before we get out of here.
I would definitely look at, and most of your listeners probably have a Dollar General nearby or a Family Dollar. It's actually good to take advantage of Dollar General. They have an online digital app. They're known for the 5 for 25. Every household has to buy laundry. Laundry is one of the most expensive things a household is going to pay for. There's ways to get that laundry for 80, 90% off through Dollar General, because Procter & Gamble does their deal usually once a month, maybe twice a month. They got this thing called an in-store coupon. It's usually 5 off of 25, right? And when you take that, you can actually couple that on top of a manufacturer's coupon, like a Procter & Gamble coupon, which would be your Gain, your Tide, things like that. There's ways you can knock off 50%. That's going to be a big spender, right? Not only that, the money that you're saving, that could be used to help pay for some of your bills or create an emergency financial plan, right? So it's working for a lot of folks that I'm helping and showing. And I think if it's working for them and working for me, I've been in couponing for 17 years. I think it can work for anybody. That's I would say that's the biggest one. And then also building up that medicine triage center, for over the counter stuff. A lot of households don't have basic things, but little do they know, Dollar General, CVS, Walgreens, they pay you to shop. So that'll be a good one there.
So inflation, before we get out of here, can you tell the people how they can contact you if they want to book you for any teaching engagements or any events for this information?
Real easy, man. Real easy. My email will be the best way, right? Because I'm all over the place. The IG, underscore got silver underscore. So that would be my IG. Same as my I'm on TikTok as well, but I would say the best way would be inflation killer at gmail.com would be my best, form of communication that we can schedule, do something from there. I do a lot of trainings and stuff all the time.
I really appreciate the time, man. Thank you for sharing that information with the people, and I'm pretty sure they'll find it valuable. And people out there know that couponing isn't just exclusive to groceries, but you can also take advantage of everyday household goods needs that you may need while you're out there taking advantage of this shopping experience. And for the 1/3 of Americans that have an issue with buying eggs, take this information, man, and start back buying eggs. You know you can't cook cornbread without eggs. You know you can't cook a good breakfast sandwich without eggs. You know you can't. You know you need some eggs. You can't cook meatloaf without eggs. You know, so go and get them eggs. The most expensive eggs I saw yet was a couple weeks ago. It was $10 a dozen.
Trader Joe's had one per customer, 319.
Mm-hmm. So now they're limited how many you buy to.
One dozen.
Man, that's really something. Well, man, people out there, stay encouraged, man. Go to Trader Joe's, get you a dozen before they go out. You know, at least you can get one. You know what I mean? So inflation, man, you be cool, man. Continue to be blessed, man. Continue blessings to you and your family. Thank you so much for sharing that information. And everybody out there, please take advantage of the information that he gave. And before we get out of here, real quick, at least 2 or 3 good applications that they can download to take advantage of these opportunities to save.
Ibotta, that's the first. That's the major one. That trumps all of them. No pun intended. Fetch, that's the second one. And then your third one, I would go for Shopkicks. So Shopkicks. Those 3 are there, good ones to have.
That's what's happening, man. Appreciate your inflation killer. Man, you have a good one, man. Till next time. Respect and salute.
Appreciate it.
Be gone.